Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Carbon 65 channel. Today we're going to change the differential fluid in the back axle here for the Z06. I recently got a P0300 error, which basically says a misfire, and so I ended up changing just the plugs because I've seen where that does it. It could be wires or coils or mass airflow sensor, all kinds of things, but did that yesterday. That seemed to work. So I thought, well, since this was the initial error, I thought, what the heck, I got 34,500 miles on it, let's change this. So I want to show you where this is at. As you can see, here's the back of the car. And there's that AWE exhaust with the black diamond tips. Oh yeah. Okay, so up here you can see I marked already just so I would know where the lines are. That's the that's the fill plug. That will loosen once we have this guy down here. Hopefully I'm getting that on camera correctly. I think I did. If not, it's right up there. So I marked it. So that's where you drain everything at, and then once that's going, we'll loosen this guy too, just so it flows in. I've got my drain, the oil capacity thing here already open, ready to go, and I do have a funnel too, just to see if I can avoid making a mess underneath. What you'll need is one of these flex heads. These are great. That's 3/8 and a quarter. I'll be using the 3/8 because those marks up there are exactly 3/8. So I have a little extension and a longer extension, which I think I'll just need the longer one. That will get up there and get that done. So let me get the light down here, and just so you can see, there we go. So I've marked it already, so I know when I go to tighten it, that's about right. There are lines on there, I think, that come from the factory, but they kind of wore off a little bit. So we're going to start out with that one there. So then let's move this guy in place, and I'm going to set this down and see how well this works. Hopefully I'm in focus in the camera. Hopefully that's right. Let me take a quick look before I get going and record like I did the other day. Yeah, it looks like there's the plug right there, you can see. Let me move that up just a little bit. There we go. So there's the drain plug right there. So I'm going to loosen that one first, and we'll take this out of the way, but I might end up using it. We'll see. Alright. Let me see. I think this will just fit underneath. And let's see which way we're going. Righty-tighty. That's tighty. So we need lefty-loosey. Alright, there we go. So with the flex head, it makes it nice and easy to get underneath there. So we'll get that in there, and you can see right away how quickly that loosened. It was like nothing. So that's nice. So once I get this guy totally loose, we got the drain plug down here. I might be able to do this by hand actually now. I think I can. Yeah, you can. This should be pretty gross from what I've seen on other ones. We'll see how it is here. Hopefully I've got, I'm going to try to keep it light. There we go. But I also want to make sure I hit the oil part. Here it comes. You can hear it bubbling away. Hopefully that heard on camera. But you can hear it gurgling. That means you're towards the end. There it is. Alright, so I'm going to pop this off. There we go. And there she goes. We'll also clean that plug off too, because you can see it does get junk. It's nothing magnetic, but we'll definitely want to clean that off. Now what I'm going to do with the extension, speed this up a wee bit. Oh, that stuff smells great too, by the way. You won't be able to catch that on camera, but trust me, that is pretty grady. Alright, so you can see with the extension that was nice and easy to get up there, and it's same as the other one, it's nice and loose. So I'm just going to loosen this up a little bit, just so that it'll flow a little bit better. Get back in there. wasn't going to take it all the way out just to see if it got to be too much. I don't want it to splatter. But as you can see up here, nicely, it doesn't hit the cross member, so, or the leaf spring. So that's nice, but man, this stuff stinks. So like I said, I have 34,500 miles on the Carbon 65. So I don't know if this was ever changed. Honestly, it could have been. This car came out of Canada, so God only knows. I think I got this car 5 years ago or 6 years ago, something like that. And it had 23,000, I think, on it. So there we go. And there's the other plug you can see there at the end. So I'm going to clean both of those off. Let this finish draining. So once this gets done, what I'll do is I'll put the drain plug back in. I'm going to clean that up. And then you have to come into here on the top side, the fill plug. And I'll show you here in a bit what I got. But I got this thing from Home Depot, a sprayer that's pressurized. So you can actually stick the tube in there, hit it a few times, and that'll just flow right in. I was going to get, for the end of the bottles, the pump caps that go on top, and then you pump it and it goes in, but that takes a lot of pumps to make that all go in there. So I thought, well, instead of doing that, I read on the forums, I don't want to take full credit, like I'm a smart guy, but if I pour all 3 of these quarts into the one container, pump it a few times, the whole thing will go. There'll be no mess. I don't have to switch the lids or anything. So that seemed to be the better way to go. So that is what I'm going to do. So we'll let this finish out, and then I'll come back. As you can see from here on my fingers how much that is. It's very slippery, and like I said, that's not the color it's supposed to be, and it doesn't have a pleasant smell to it. And then, like I said, hopefully this showed up on camera, but you can see the ends of the cap. That was the drain plug, and here's the fill one again, just in case. You can see this one's not as bad, but it's still got a bunch of that stuff on there. And I wish I could show you how it smells, but never mind that. But this is close to done, so I'll be back with you in just a minute. Okay. So now, before we get started, the axle fluid there is draining out. I wanted to show you, this is a spray bottle that I bought from, pretty sure it was Home Depot. When I got this for my deck, I was staining my deck and cleaning everything off. So this works perfect. Here's a new fluid that we need to use, which is has the slip differential included, so you don't have to mix anything. So it's AC Delco, Dextron LS gear oil, Safe 75 W90. You can see down there the part number is 104034. So you'll need 3 of these quarts. I'll put a link in there from Amazon where I bought this. They've gone up over the years like pretty much everything else in life. These were, I want to say, $34 each or something like that. So roughly a little over $100, 105 bucks for that. So what I'm going to do is take those, pour them all in here, put the lid on right there, pressurize it, and then I'll take off the cap right here. I'll take this off so it doesn't spray. And then when you pump it, it'll just come shooting out in the fill plug. So let me get this all set up and we'll get back to the job. Okay. I just wanted to show you the difference in color. You can see down there how much nicer this looks. And as I pour it in, I'll show you. That other was like slimy greenish gray, but you can see from this, look how much nicer that looks. It doesn't smell near as bad as the other one either, so that's good to know. So we'll get that all in there. So I just wanted to show you though the difference in color, and there's the bottle. That's the second one in there now, so I got one more to go. And put the plug back on, pump her in, and that's basically it. We'll be ready to go. So it shouldn't take too long. This is actually a pretty quick and easy job. Obviously jacking up the car and bringing it back down is probably the longest part of this. The plugs are not very tight, as you've seen, so we'll get this guy in there. And I can do this all in one smooth little deal here, so I don't have to do each bottle. Like I said, the other solution was to put on the top of the cap the pump, and then you got to pump it many times to get that all in there. So this seemed to be a much better idea. So as you can see, that's all in there. So what I'll do is I'll add the cap here. We'll screw her in, like so. There we go. I'll hold it with my feetsies. There we go. So she's tight. So all I got to do now is take off this end. So take this part off. That's what makes it spray. We don't want spray. We just want it to come straight out. So, all right. So now we're all ready to go. Let me go put the drain plugs on and we'll start. Be back in just a minute. Okay. So, as you can see, it's pretty much finished draining there. My line is still up there. See if I can get this up a little bit. There we go. So what I'm going to do is just wipe that off, the hole up there. There we go. I think we can see that then. So I'll go ahead and just make sure we got things pretty. Go ahead and put the drain plug back in. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. There we go. Alright, get that started. Push on it enough to grab it. A little slip, but there we go. Alright. So I'll do this as much as I can by hand. Alright, there's more I can do, but this one here is not that bad. Oops, got to go to righty-tighty. There we go. And like I said, this doesn't have to be torqued down. I don't know the actual specs to this, but it was not very tight. There's a seal on there, so I usually just want to get it snug. You should be fine. There we go. And there she is. That should be good. Alright, one more wipe down. There we go. And you can see I'm just off on my line, maybe a touch tighter, so not too bad. Alright, so that was the hard part, so to speak. We'll get the oil guy out of here. Like so, make us a little room. And now what we're going to do is come back up here right there, and we're going to put our nozzle in there. And we're going to fill that puppy up. Alright. So as you can see, here's my bottle. There's my spray guy. So we're going to bring this over, like so. Alright, we'll try that again. I hit the wrong button. So let's just first verify that this fits in there. Actually, I need to pull that up. You can see right up in there. Hopefully that shows up. You can see I can just push that in there and spray away. So what I'm going to do now is move my light over a wee bit. This is probably going to trip after you fill it up a little bit, so I'm going to move my drain here first. Alright, now let me see if I can get the camera set. Oh, she fell down. Alright, let me get that. Let's set it back here. A little tripod. Alright. So there you can see the standing up. There we go. Alright. Okay, so what we're going to do is put this guy in here like that. We're now going to go ahead and get our thing loose. We're going to pump 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and away she goes. Alright. You can see I'm missing a little bit, but it's dripping out. Let me get this set again. There, you just got to push it in further. There we go. So now in theory, this is better than changing the bottles and doing the pump. One, you don't have to keep pumping, or at least not near as much. I think Justin from Horsepower Obsessed said 200 times per bottle, which may not be far off, but that seems like a lot of pumping in there. I'm watching here in the bottle. Just to make sure we got enough pressure on there. Trying to wash the bottle here to make sure that it's going down. Of course, you can always take this out and so you can see this is pretty boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the film now, and I'll come back to you as soon as this is done. Alright, I just wanted to show you here as I'm going through this, you can see where the line is, because this is not like hyperspeed. It's not like a takeoff in the Z06, but definitely takes a little bit of time, but you can see that line is going down. So like I said, imagine if you did have the pump, which I was going to buy, which is about the same price as these, about $8-10. I think it's a 10cc or something like that. But you'd have to sit there and keep pumping that thing. And here you just make 5 or 6, 8 pumps, whatever, and then hold the button and wait. And you can see the lines going down. And all we're waiting for is as we get to the bottom here, that should start to drip when it's filled all the way on the overflow. And once you get that, you should be good. Like I said, 3 quarts should do it. In fact, you may not even need the whole 3 quarts, depends on how much drained out. But this should get the job done. So, alright, I just want you to see that, what's going on, and I'll follow back up when this is done. Okay, so I wanted to show you, still got a little bit of oil left in the bottom there, you can see. But as you can see now, the overfill is just starting to drip up there. So that's as much as we need. So not quite 3 quarts, but pretty close. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull this thing out and I'm going to clean that up and put the plug back on, and then we can bring the car back down. We should be all good to go. But I just wanted to show you what happens when you get it full. So you're like, hey, do I have to put more or more? You just wait till you see that little bit of drip and you are good to go. So like I said, I don't know if you can see down on here on the very bottom, it's like way down to here. So we're almost at 3 quarts, but not quite. So it's pretty close. I think when you drain these, they get about between 2 1/4 to 2.5 quarts that comes out when you drain it. So there's probably still a little bit left in there. So if you buy 3 quarts of this stuff for the AC Delco oil, the 1040-34, you should be more than good. And then, like I said, after this, put the plug back on, clean her up, and you are all done. So I'll be back with you in just a little bit.